Okay, in this lesson I am going to give you the graph of an absolute value problem and you're going to go back and give me the equation. So, it's kind of helpful to sort of have this as a starting point, and you might want to write this in your notes. You're going to go like this: the absolute value of x minus the middle. And then you're going to have some sort of symbol in here, greater than or less than or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. We'll talk about that in a minute. But then what goes over here is the distance from middle to end point. And I'll talk about that as we go, and it'll make a little bit more sense. Okay? So here we go on this first one. What's halfway between -3 and 3 is 0. So my middle point right here is 0. Okay, so I'm going to go the absolute value of x minus 0, which, by the way, you don't really need the minus 0 on there. Okay, in this case I just have two dots, so because it's two dots, it's just going to be an equal sign in there. And then the distance from the center to the endpoint, that distance is 3. Okay, so it's the absolute value of x minus 0 equals 3. I really would write that as the absolute value of x is 3. Okay? In the next one, again, what's halfway between -2 and 2 would be 0. So I would go x minus 0, it's my center. This time I'm shaded, this distance right here is 2. And I'm shaded outside that distance. So that absolute value symbol has to be greater than. It is not underlined because my circles are not colored in, 2. Okay? And I actually should write that as the absolute value of x is greater than 2. All right, here, my center is at 2, again, so I have the absolute value of x minus my center is at 2, and my distance from my center to my endpoint, that distance is 1. And again, I'm shaded outside of that realm, and so I would do greater than. Not underlined because my circles are not colored in. Okay, and lastly, what's halfway between -2 and 4 is 1. So here's my center. So I will go x minus 1. And then the distance from my center to my endpoint is 3. So I will have a 3 over here. And I am shaded inside that absolute value, so I would go less than. Underlined in this case because my circles are colored in. And that's what that would look like.